All right, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're gonna bake another sweet potato pie, and we're gonna try a new technique, pate brisée. And I'm gonna let y'all watch me in real time. No perfection, none of that. Just me and these sweet potatoes roasting off some butter. I can't let y'all know my techniques though. I can't let y'all know my secret spices and everything like that. So there's no recipes and all of that, but you know, let's just vibe out today. I want to talk to y'all a bit, get to know you a little bit. So let's see, pate brisée. It sounds really fancy. And look at this. I don't have any salt, but we're not gonna let that stop us, are we? We always got a bunch of salt packets around. Anyway, it sounds fancy. We're not fancy though. This is a flaky, non-fussy, great for beginners crust. I set it in the freezer before I started for a while so it can get really hard to grate it because we want our butter super, super fine. We're going to work the butter into the flour like you worked the dance floor back in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Hard into that flour. So not only am I going to grate it, I'm going to take it down even further and make it even finer and use my pastry cutter. It's really not a fussy type of dough. I've made plenty of pie crust before, but I'm intentionally practicing my techniques lately just to see how my crust comes out in different ways, you know? It's because I want to be better. I think a lot of us forget, we're allowed to do that. We are allowed to practice, we're allowed to make mistakes and change up. So as I'm cutting in this butter, I want to say this, especially if you're watching and thinking, I can't ever do this, I can't do this. You absolutely could. You're just seeing me after I failed quite a few times off camera. And on camera, I try to show you the really real, but that goes for everything. That goes for baking, business, life, all of it. Nobody uploads the part where you're Googling, why in the hell is my dough giving me its ass to kiss? Okay? Are you frustrated? Keep it calm. Keep it cool. So we want this nice, fine, powdery, as fine as you can get it. So it should kind of look like grated Parmesan cheese. At this point, I'm just gonna put this in the freezer because I don't wanna. I want it to be super cold. I want it to stay cold, and we're taking our time today. We're chilling. You know what I'm saying? So I need to clean up. I need to eat something. So we're gonna have a little lunch. Let's have some lunch. I'm gonna make some tuna. I'll show you how I make my tuna real quick. How about that? I love this tuna, and I have some fresh dill from my garden that I wanted to use, so that's my excuse. I kind of want to just brag about my dill. Is that okay? So, how do you make your tuna, guys? I like capers, I like relish, I like a little grated onion sometimes, and I usually like a little boiled egg, but I don't have time for that because we gotta get back to work. And when you know it, I didn't have any crackers or bread, but it was so good, it doesn't matter. I ate it by itself. Because we gotta go, we gotta get back to work. So we need that protein boost. My sweet potatoes are looking so delicious. While the sweet potatoes are cooling, I'm gonna go ahead and get my dough out and we're going to finish that up. We're gonna take our time, we're gonna hydrate this dough. I'm just working like a tablespoon at a time of ice water in there, like literally a tablespoon, and then work it in, work it in, work it in. This crust is not about being perfect. It's gentle handling, it's trusting the process, it's learning the feel of your flour. It's, you know, don't pressure yourself. You don't need to rush growth. You don't need to explain your pace. It's like life making this pie. You just need to keep your hands in the work, right? Today is an easy day. This is an easy type of crust. It really is about the texture that comes out from really working that dough into the flour, as opposed to the last dough that I made. I left it in large chunks, which made it almost like croissant dough. It was delicious, but I mean, it's super flaky and super crispy. So I wanted to, this particular technique, I had no idea actually is closer to the technique that I normally would use. So I'm gonna cover my dough and we're gonna chill, we're gonna rest, right? We're gonna rest our dough. And I'm gonna show you how to brown your butter properly. Because that's one little technique I'm going to share with you that I love in sweet potato pie is to brown your butter. Brown your butter. And you want to make sure it comes to this frothy. That's when you know, when those solids hit the bottom. See all those brown bits right there? Make sure you get all of that into, scrape all of that into your sweet potatoes, because that's where all the flavor lies. I'm telling you, you will thank me for just taking the time to brown your butter. If whatever, it doesn't even have to be sweet potato pie. If your recipe calls for melted butter, I always take the step to brown the butter, not just melt it. Unless for some reason that, you know, messes it up in some way. But 9 times out of 10, it's going to double the flavor in whatever you're baking. So I've gotten better with rolling out this dough. It's so funny how, you know, making pies sometimes is, I don't know. It kind of is a metaphor for life, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think sometimes we rush ourselves the same way we can rush making a pie or learning something. You know, we try to roll it out before it's rested. We try to push before we're ready. And then we wonder why things fall apart. You know? So I'm trying to do things different now. You know what I'm saying? This is a new year. And although I'm starting over, I am moving with intention. You know what I'm saying? I'm choosing to stop, reevaluate things, and tear down and rebuild if necessary. Sometimes that's hard. It absolutely is hard. But just like this dough, you know what I'm saying? I can stretch. I'm resilient. You're resilient. You're resilient if you're watching this. I want to say thank you, you know, to everyone who's watching, commenting, sending me love, giving me likes, sharing it, subscribing, all of that good stuff. You know, all of that matters, but I really do this to really encourage other people because it helps me to not stay in a dark place when it's hard building up things, you know? So I just want to say thank you. You don't know, you know, how much that can matter when you're building something up from scratch. That's why I called this show From Scratch, because that's how I feel right now. I feel like I'm going to have to build from scratch my life right now. Like, I'm building my life from scratch over. I'm making this pie from scratch. I'm learning how to do new things every day better. Because that's what life is about, right? We roll with it like this pie crust. We roll with it. We roll with the punches, right? So And make sure I get this in here. I'm gonna trim it up. Now, I'm not even gonna do anything fancy with my crust today. I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm keeping it simple today. I'm being easy. I'm not giving myself nothing. I'm really just baking for my family anyway. And I figured I'd bring you guys along for the ride. So I appreciate you sharing your time with me. If you stayed to the end of this video, I mean, thank you, for real. Because you didn't have to. Look at that. She looking sexy. Let's see what we got left here. You know what? Do you see this? Do you see this? This is what's left. You guys are animals. It was quite good. Please like, subscribe, share, and hit that notification bell to get some more love from the of.